I've been hearing a lot of people talk about collaboration, pitching, hey, let's do a collaboration. And what I'm realizing is there's not a lot of clarity about what a collaboration is and what it's not. And most of what's getting pitched is pretty one-sided. You are listening to Amplify Your Success Podcast, episode 439. And today, let's talk about the myth of collaboration, what it is and what it's not. And let's create a new possibility for how to collaborate and co-create opportunities. You ready for this? Let's get started. Welcome to the Amplify Your Success Podcast. Get ready to ramp up your revenue, amplify your impact, and make your mark in the world. This is the show for experts, thought leaders, and service professionals who want to shatter their limits and achieve that next level. You're going to find out from other experts and influencers how they made it. Now, let's get amplified. Hey there, inspired entrepreneurs and business leaders. It is your host, Melanie Benson, authority amplifier to expert-based entrepreneurs and ripple makers. And today, let's talk a little bit about collaboration. And this is something that I've been talking about collaboration for years. It's something that I've built my business on. And lately, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about collaboration, pitching collaborations, but what they're pitching doesn't really feel like a collaboration. And I thought today we could unpack this because just because you talk about collaboration doesn't mean it's really a co-created opportunity. So I want to set an intention today that by the end of this episode that you have a whole new realm of possibility around collaboration, and that it could even inspire you to co-create new possibilities with your peers. Now, before I jump into this, one of my favorite ways to collaborate is through the podcast guesting process. Again, this is not the way most people approach the collaboration concept. It's really about the win-win-win. And it's a really key component of what I call $1 million visibility streams. And I unpack my whole $1 million visibility streams process in my 7-step framework. If you head to melaniebenson.com/framework, I would encourage you to download it and think of this like a self-assessment, an opportunity to really look at the key components you must have if you want to enroll more clients right now, but also be able to co-create opportunity with high profile and popular show hosts. So head over again to melaniebenson.com/framework and you can download it, go through it, and I've got some tips that'll come your way as well. Now, I want to start with what, at least to me, a collaboration is not. And this is inspired by several attempts of people to reach out and let's do a collaboration. But as I unpacked it and dug into it a little bit more, I was like, this doesn't feel like a co-creation. This feels like you want something from me. And I talked to a lot of my peers about what's happening in our industry right now and what, kind of like we talk about like what's working, what's not working. And it's interesting how many people are getting pitched collaborations, but they're not really collaborations. So here's some things that I don't really see a collaboration as. The first one, and this has become very popular, said to pitch, collab opportunity. But what it really is like someone's pitching to be on my show. And I think in their mind, they're thinking, I have wisdom. You have a podcast platform. Let's collab. That's not a collaboration. That's a podcast guesting opportunity. And what I believe is happening here is we're thinking about collaborations. The collaboration is what happens beyond the microphone. It's what happens beyond the interview. The door opener is the podcast guest interview. But approaching someone to collab or to have a collaboration, people shortcut that as a collab, and saying, like, me being a guest on your show is the collaboration. I think that's not really thinking that through. And you're leaving a lot of opportunity, and you're probably not going to get the pitch anyway. You're not going to get the spot that way. And I'm going to go one deeper with this. Even more is the collaboration attempt where you pitch it as a collaboration, And you are then looking at, okay, I want to be a guest on your show, and you get the spot, but you don't promote it. You don't share it with anybody. Well, that's just bad podcast guesting etiquette in the first place. But secondly, that's not how the collaboration sparks. And I'm going to talk about what really can spark a powerful, valuable collaboration in a minute. That's not it. Here's another one that I'm seeing come through. And I just got a pitch on this the other day from somebody who I know. And he's been trying to, he's a JV broker, and he's been trying to get me to collab with a client of his. Well, he pitches me, he says, I've got a collaboration opportunity for you. Well, the collaboration opportunity was, can you promote this person's program? I was like, how is that a collaboration? That's an affiliate campaign. And I bring this up because I think it's really important to consider the terminology you're using, the positioning of the opportunity. Because if you're going in with a collaboration opportunity, you got to really look at, like, what does that mean? And are you pitching something that truly is a collaboration? Because this is the first inspired moment where you're getting to connect with somebody that there could be collaboration opportunities. But if you're going in one-sided right out of the gate and you're mislabeling an affiliate promotion request as a collaboration, and you got somebody who really understands all the nuances of all those things, you're maybe turning that person off instead of activating the opportunity. And I think really what's going on here is we've got a deeper issue at stake, and that is everybody understands that getting in front of our peers' audiences it's $1 million revenue stream, right? That's where the opportunities are. The visibility that leads to new clients, new opportunities, it's so rich. But if you're trying to take the shortcut and create a collaboration that's a one-way, a one person wins benefit, then what you're doing is you're probably eroding the trust and the credibility and the opportunity instead of deepening the desire and the potential. Now, here's something else that collaboration's not, and this one's kind of on the edge, but I want to bring it up because a lot of people get stuck in this tit for tat mentality. And I will just admit that there have been times where I'm like, it's all one-sided and I'm not seeing anything coming back to me. That is different than tit for tat. Like, you promote me, now it's my turn. You got to promote, the other person, right? Well, when you go into a collaboration, a co-creating of possibility and opportunity with, I'll promote you, but you have to do this for me, it's not truly the spirit of collaboration. Now, I get we need to have clear understandings. We need to communicate clearly what our expectations are, and I'm all a fan for that. But when we limit what's possible and we go in with the, hey, we promoted for you, you got to promote for me now mentality, that's not a co-creative, expansive energy. That's a more of a, I think it puts limits on the collaboration. And I recently had somebody who kind of attempted it that way. And it's like they had their team member reaching out going, well, when are you promoting for us next? And I was like, well, let's look at what collaboration means and what you're bringing to the table versus what I've been bringing to the table. And, we had to kind of reset the expectations. Now, another thing that I think is getting a little weird lately is people reaching out in the DMs saying, hey, I have a collaboration opportunity for you. But what they mean is, I have a paid visibility opportunity, and I'd like for you to pay to have this opportunity for us to give you exposure. That's not a collaboration. So this is the last one that I want to highlight here because there's really no collaboration there. You're getting paid to do something. You're paying for exposure, right? And that's just paid PR. That's paid placement. Okay, and again, it could be valuable, but let's call a collaboration what it is, and let's be clear what it's not. That's not a collaboration. That's being paid to do something. Now, I'm really looking at collaboration as the spirit of co-creating opportunity from a genuine place of desire to co-create with somebody, where both parties bring value, They bring energy. They're bringing their audiences that are aligned to the table and looking at how can we create more abundance, more opportunity, more value for both of our audiences by coming together. And sometimes a collaboration is we're going to create a new program together. A lot of people call that a joint venture. I think that's one way you could call it. It's also a form of collaboration. Another form of collaboration is really caring so much about these collaboration partners that you look for ways to promote them and provide support, even if there's no personal gain for you. And I think that's a key piece. This is a relationship-based strategy. So here's what collaboration is to me. And I think a lot of my peers share this. And that is collaboration is a relationship-based strategy. It's supporting people that you like, that you value what they do, and it's about being intentional about co-creating opportunities together, even if there's no personal gain for you. So it's not really a transaction. It's a co-creation. It's a constant, ongoing feeding. Hey, I got an opportunity. Hey, I want to introduce you to this person. Hey, there's a speaking gig I'm speaking at. Do you want to speak there too? And I think a lot of times people get so focused on what's in it for me that they lose the true essence of what a collaboration is. I do believe that collaboration is strategic, it's intentional, and it's aligned. I think it has to be aligned for it to have value. If you collaborate with somebody where you don't really have aligned audiences, the value doesn't last very long and it kind of fizzles out. So I do believe you have to have that. I think we have to have synergistic offers. I don't think collaboration is the same two vendors or two strategic partners having the same kind of offer. That doesn't really work out. And I would love for it to be in a perfect world for us to be able to collaborate, but it probably isn't. And I also think that values have to be aligned for collaboration to make sense. And when we don't have the values alignment, I don't really see the the long-term focus that's there. So in a true collaboration, you're building a bridge between your worlds and nurturing that and keeping that going all the time, even if it doesn't look like every day you are talking to that person or sharing business with that person. It's an ongoing long-term relationship. Now, what happens if you have a collaborative partner who's really intentional, but it's not working? Well, one thing you can do is look at what does work for that partner and how could you lean into that more? So maybe not all the things you're doing are going to be a great collaboration, but you can be focused on. So let's say I have a JV partner or a collaboration partner who they get the best results when sharing either a webinar or a book launch. So we were talking and it's like, well, let me know when you're doing those things. I'll be happy to do that for you. Just give me a heads up early so I can put it in my promo calendar. What I have found the real collaborations that pay off are, hey, I'm hosting an event. I'd love for you to speak at it. Okay, when I'm hosting an event, I'd love for you to speak at mine. So you're looking at how can we share audiences by continually inviting each other to each other's stages. That's actually how I built my business in the first place. I had 4 collaboration partners, and we each hosted different kinds of events, and we each invited those people to speak, each other to speak on our stages. And it was a great source of revenue and a real camaraderie. And some of those people are still my friends what has it been since those events, like 23, 22 years later? And I think that's really at the essence of this. When you collaborate well and you're intentional and you're really clear about what it is and what it isn't, and you are willing to go in and nurture it, these people will go to work for you for years to come. But what's going to kill a collaboration is one-sidedness, not following through, and not being willing to have those more intentional, strategic conversations about, hey, it's not working the way we were hoping. You want to try some different things, right? Or maybe just kind of doing the bare minimum rather than really nurturing the relationship in a deep way. So I'm a huge fan of collaboration. And you notice I'm not talking about affiliate partners here. I'm not talking about JVs in the way the traditional JV models. This isn't for me about leaderboards and contests and what you can win and what you don't win. This is about, I care about you. I believe in you. We have aligned audiences. I know we can really support each other. How do we create a long-term strategic plan where we both win and we can both share each other's audiences and co-create opportunity synergistically? So I'd love to hear what your definition of collaboration is, and what do you look for in a collaboration, and what kind of burns you out of it? Like, I know a lot of people, when I bring up collaboration in the Authority Accelerator programs, I've had clients say, you know what, I got really burned. And when we dig in, it wasn't a collaboration. It was an affiliate arrangement, or it was a misguided partnership that was one-sided. I want to set the intention that we all look at how to collaborate. You don't have to all collaborate with each other, but there are people who will be great collaboration partners for you if you really lean in. Thanks for tuning in today, Amplifier. We're going to keep this conversation going, and I want to hear from you how you're going to amplify your authority and make a greater impact. Before you go, please take a minute to give our show and our guests some love over on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe, rate, and review. Leave your full name, and I'll spotlight you and your authority on social media.